had someone cash in 10,000 points. That means, you guessed it, they get to join us in the casting booth. I went ahead and paused it because we're at the start. And so I'm going to get them into the casting booth with us.
Yeah, and there's a really compelling reason, guys, to play that prediction game, bank those channel points, have an opportunity to come in, just have some really good, healthy discourse between yourself and the casters, whoever that might be. This is really one of the last games, if not the last game that we're broadcasting here on the channel for Prospect Esports Showdown Season 3. But there's going to be plenty more opportunities, whether it's for the Goats Tournament or Prospect Esports Showdown Season 4, which you will definitely want to be a part of, really for both of those. So if you haven't already, hit the follow button. You're going to want to continue to stay updated on all of the times that we go live, all the great games that we're going to be able to watch. And on top of that, of course, you want to bank those channel points. Come hop in the booth with me and Laura or Athena, Wild, G or Kill Switch, any of the great folks that we've had casting here and producing. It's a fun place to hang out, to be honest. So as we wait for James to hop in here with us, congratulations, spending those channel points all those times that James was right about who was going to win or lose in these matchups. Once again, there's those bragging rights. James is going to be able to hop in here and say, yeah, I was right every time I said that one team was going to win or lose. So once again, you definitely want to play that prediction game that we have on the channel. It's a lot of fun. And speaking about predictions, I think that that might have gone live. It might be over by now. But cast those predictions. You want to do it.
Yeah, I have always been a little sad that I won't be able to really cash in my points because, hey, if I wanted to join the casting table, I can just click the button. So
He
I'm
just
just
has to be put on the schedule.
yeah, I am just voting to just smack some dicks around on the table, to be honest. I love being able to be like 5K on the bench. It's going on the Oop, I just knocked something off my desk with my excitement.
Too excited there, Laura.
I mean, maybe I am just really in it for the bench. We have our winner. I will drop down really quick to go grab them.
And thanks for bearing with us, guys. I think we incurred some technical issues, stream drop, but it should be back up by now. Don't go anywhere, guys. Every map here is match point. I see that we got 65 viewers in the chat right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have tuned into such a great series, and no less the grand finals between two really good teams playing for our upper division, one of the amongst the higher elos of the competitive ladder. So I mean, you see all of the good things that these kinds of players do, amplified by the environment of team play. And as I say that, we're gonna have James in the chat. James, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Got to watch some great Overwatch, and of course, I got you in the booth with me. Congratulations, spending those 10K channel points to hop in with us. What are your thoughts on this match so far?
I went to masturbate for the last round, but the first three were really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing about Overwatch just really gets you hot and heavy. Now, I do have to ask, how did you get 10K points? But now I'm a little worried about how you got that. If that's the way you handled last round, we are going to be unpausing, and I will be passing my casting mic over to you, James.
Uh, I just am really good at guessing.
I mean, hey, you got a 50-50 shot, right? You'll take what you can get. So as we begin to count down the clock here for the gates to open, what are your anticipations here for these team compositions that we're seeing? A Snakea back on the Orisa pick here for the defense of Hanamura, Srath on the Bastion. Do you think that the bench is going to be able to work around this properly?
Oh, I think they're fine. Can I get an invite?
Oh yeah, actually.
Oh my goodness, yes, that was
we need you in
small-brained of me. Maybe Nikki can go live for you on this stream. Otherwise, I will be grabbing that invite for you.
Well, we've got Zed and Sebs here on the Rhine Diva, so they're running this rush style composition with Matson on the Symmetra. We've seen them doing good work, and they teleport all the way up to the high ground, but Christian is ready there. Donatello getting dove there by Sebs is going to go, oh, goes critical and goes down. That's not the first first pick of the team fight that you want. And the pull is big here from Snakea, but you know, the wall is honestly a little bit bigger, cutting off Strat's line of sight here as the rest of the bench just kind of play around this choke, just kind of waiting out this damage. Finally, the team fight is going to break out on the objective. Strat being dove by Seb's Immortality Field coming up from both sides, but looks like the bench is going to be coming out on top of this engagement. Kaiser just swinging on the objective, trying to get that ultimate charge, but they won't be able to build enough of it. Even though we had some really good boop from Donatello onto Aurora, it looks like, oh, it could go either way. Madsen, it's only Madsen and Sebs, but they do get Trozoi, the Ned, and Donatello. So that's going to be their first point capture.
Yeah, so we did get you in kind of late, James, but what are your feelings going into second point now?
I'm very worried that my team is going to throw my channel points.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Which
you're
one
Maelstrom,
was your
right?
team?
Oh, I am team Maelstrom all the way.
Maelstrom Delta, okay. So you're probably gritting your teeth a little bit, just kind of on the edge of your seat here for the outcome of the series.
Oh, yeah, looks like they're about to pop off too.
Yeah, we got that teleporter onto the back of the objective. A little bit of progress build, but that's not really the point here. Truzoi comes out with a barrage, not wanting to skip a beat as the Shatter is lobbed as well from Kaiser. Application Matrix is going to be prompted by Silver, but not quite enough to keep things sustained, and we're going to see a back off, a call to regroup, go back to spawn, and this fight is lost here from the remaining members of the bench.
That just tried his hardest to keep alive and to not get as staggered as late as he could, doing fire sweeps into the entire team.
James, do you do any play-by-play?
No, I will just be talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Be sure to. I mean, if you got something to say, just be sure to cut me off. I know when I've said too much. But here we're gonna see another team fight breaking out. They're opting for this high ground as the bomb comes out behind Kaiser. Kaiser swings the shield around the low resources as Aurora drops the beat onto the high ground, keeping the team sustained here. Immortality Field is going to come out from Maelstrom and the wall from the bench as well as said, rewarded for the aggression with a Fire Strike elimination onto Donatello. And it looks like Maelstrom is looking weaker and weaker as time progresses. Snakea is getting close to being demeched here from the damage coming unmitigated from Madsen. The turns above the objective are just enough to do little bits of damage. Blizzard coming out from Archivist is not really going to ensnare anyone, but it does result in elimination onto Truzoi. Gotta watch out for Silver Tools on the high ground here. Another Shatter from Kaiser knocks Archivist on their back, but Sebs is looking just fine. Here Aurora amping up the heals to keep the team on the objective in this fight. The high noon comes out from Strat. Massive ice wall blocking it off. Strat does still get 2 picks. Critical eliminations onto Archivist and Silver though, and as the Ned goes down, it could go either way. Aurora's frozen though, so now there's it's only Silver healing. Actually, no, I don't think Silver is even here. The fight will be secured here by Maelstrom. Your team's doing pretty good right now, James.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing Truzoi play well this time, and I can't even recognize him.
Maybe they just needed their champion in the casting booth with them giving, all the love out to them.
Oh yeah, that's what it has to be. I never told him I was gonna do this either, so they better pop off.
Hey, it's a good view here for your team, though, right? Getting to watch just from right here in the casting booth.
Yeah, a good view for Diva sitting in front of the entire enemy team.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Blizzard from
Blizzard
Truzoi. They got eaten. You might have spoken too soon, James. As the Immortality Field is cast by Silvertall, they will end up going down, and now it's only the tanks and Archivist on the objective. Aura is trying to keep the team sustained, but with the Ned on the high ground just keeping the team up, the Shatter from Zed is still rewarding eliminations into this, and the bomb is dropped by Sebs. The wall coming up from Truzoi, broken by the devastating damage of the nuke. Sebs went for the remake kill, wasn't quite able to find it, and the beat from Aurora will keep the team up. Window from Ned is procced, but another clutch ice wall from Archivist. Archivist is really making this main work, but not quite well enough to come out on top of these engagements. Maelstrom will continue to hold.
Now we do have 2 minutes on the clock. We see Strat switching back to McCree. How do you feel about Strat being on McCree, James?
I've seen his McCree. It worries me.
It worries you in a good way, or a what the hell are you doing, buddy way?
I think he should go back to spawn to switch.
I mean, you popped off there briefly, right? You got those 2 picks, and pretty much shut down this fight, and Strath is going to be looking for another opportunity to shut down this next fight. Donatello with the beat is one to keep a close eye on, especially in response to the Amplification Matrix. Another big shadow from Kaiser coming through with these massive ultimates here. Ultimately, the Amplification Matrix will be cast by Silvertall to just keep the tanks alive in this corridor here. Zed pushes and then has to fall back. The stun onto Zed isn't quite enough to get them out of the fight, but the damage is lethal behind the main tanks here from Maelstrom. Gonna be looking to push. Strath does find Madsen, so there's your DPS player, James, popping off in the kill feed. We'd like to see it happen. Snake launches the bomb, and it might be enough to shut this push down. Just quite yielding eliminations, but space created is what Maelstrom is calling the chat, and Zed is going to back off as Aurora and Archivist goes down.
Yes, now Strat just now getting his high noon. You know, I have to kind of wonder if James is right in his prediction. We do see Madsen already having Dragon and Shatter on Zed coming, you know, shortly behind that. However, the ult coming on Maelstrom just bodes well for this last 55-second push.
I mean, James, how did they mess this up?
Like that.
Looking at the Amplification Matrix cast by the net isn't really going to get any rewards there. But Strath, once again, coming in clutch with these 2 picks off the back of a massive blizzard from Truzoy. 30 seconds to touch, and a team fight won at the expense of only 2 ultimates, it looks like. Snake is going to be coming up on another bomb if the next team fight happens long enough, but really we're counting on the high noon, the beat, and the shatter from the rest of Maelstrom.
This is good. Maelstrom's finally making a comeback. They're not going to get reverse sweeped at all.
It looked a little
maybe
scary
not.
after Nepal.
It was, wasn't it, James?
Oh yeah.
Truzoy with the wall, looking for an opportunity to get that freeze on. Finds the supports, but that damage is going to be mitigated by Ned. No CC there. Kaiser's going to land not land the shadow. He goes for it, but gets frozen in the process. The shadow blocks. Strath is going to go for the high noon. The beat sustain them in the fight. Does find the elimination onto the mech for Seps. Seps procs the bomb, but right into the hands of Strath. Gets the stun there. Might not be enough though. Maelstrom is hurting here on the objective. Snake is demagged by the lethal damage coming in from Zed and the CC from Archivist. Truzoy is trying to contest the objective, but finally the bench will get a tick of progress on this point. We have desperation swaps coming out from Kaiser on the wrecking ball. The wall coming up from the bench. There's no opportunity to touch. All right, James. You predicted Maelstrom was going to come out on top. How did they do it?
The bench got turned into a table, and Maelstrom was fucked over it.
So how does Maelstrom come back from this? Do they need to opt for the same rush style based composition? Do they need to go back to put Kaiser back on the wrecking ball or Snake on Orisa? What composition do you see coming out on the attack?
I have no idea. I'm like bronze.
Believe it for seconds.
They need to pick. If this was my bronze games, this would be they'd be going Junk in May, and they'd be popping off.
Okay, all right.
Bad on defense.
It's a must pick. Both of them are must picks on each side. Don't worry about it.
Hey, some bronze perspective into these matches. That never hurts anybody, and it doesn't matter what tier Overwatch you play in. We can all rally around some good Overwatch. And James, that's what I'm looking for from Maelstrom. Just some good, clean Overwatch play as they opt for this rush style-based composition. Strath on the Symmetra. They doing that. Where they gonna TP onto the objective or to the high ground? You think they're gonna be smart about where they TP?
I think they'll go right to point.
Okay, I mean it's conventional. We've seen it played out in our solo queue comp games. Here we see the double shield composition emerging for the bench. So maybe they have an ace up the hole, a card up their sleeve as Archivist and Madsen take to the skies on Echo and Pharah here, and we'll just have to wait and see how this goes out. A slow engagement here and some swaps coming in for the composition of Maelstrom.
Mobility increased.
We got your boy Strath on the Creed, James. Oh, we'll see how
as
this
usual.
goes. Yeah, against that double flyer too. I mean, Strath has their work cut out for them, but the choke is free, so Maelstrom is able to just wrap around through there. They're gonna opt for this upper left high ground if you're the defenders. And Zed playing the low ground on Orisa makes me a little bit nervous as someone who plays Orisa myself. But Truzoy is looking for the angle to put that wall up and mitigate any potential damage that can come through there. But talking about damage, Madsen on this far is playing this off angle around them, and damage boost by Aurora. They're gonna be able to get some good damage onto Kaiser. Get both of those tanks pretty low. Snake is actually gonna end up being demacked, and Strath does find the elimination onto Madsen. Kaiser going in for the pin is going to be mitigated by the Immortality Field cast by Silver Aurora is critically low, and as Snake goes down in the fight to Archivist, and a pull from Zed. Looks like, ooh, this is actually swinging for oh, I said it was swinging for Maelstrom, but I might have spoken too soon. Zed goes down. Yeah, Maelstrom's going to be able to clean up. So now that we've, I'm afraid that we've lost Laurel here, and so James, color casting, it's now on your shoulders. Welcome to the booth. Get back on the objective. What is your team doing, James?
They're a great team bunch, I swear.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen them through the regular season and through playoffs as well, that they've performed really well, too. But they're going to have to capture this objective with some time remaining, at least a minute here. And they're looking pretty good here into this first fight. Snake connecting onto Aurora as the high noon comes out from Strath. Doesn't quite find any eliminations. Madsen will actually find Strath out of the fight. The duplicate form does come out from Archivist, gets immediately taken out of that as well. Truejoy finds Zed, and the barrage comes out from Madsen, taken out of the fight by the Ned. That's some really good damage and damage mitigation that your flex support player on Maelstrom is capable of dealing. Meanwhile, the Amplification Matrix keeping the rest of the bench sustained on the objective. Sebs is the only one here remaining on the point, but Silver on the high ground is not contested, and eventually Snake will go down to the charge from Zed. I mean, not even to take up progress, James. You're not disappointed, though. The time bank for Maelstrom is still pretty good.
I've seen worse from them to not be disappointed for this.
Ooh, but the Ned going down early there, you don't want to see that.
He should have just stayed behind shield. It's stuff like that that's going to keep him at spawn.
I mean, you just don't walk past your main tank's barrier if it's up there, or at least play the corners there. The Ned learning that lesson the hard way, as we all do. Look at these ultimates, though. Do you think that they're going to use all of them, or do you think that they'll just start with, like, the Amplification Matrix and the Blizzard?
Probably going to speed Blizzard. I think that's the play.
Okay, gotcha. So we'll look forward to seeing that speed and probably the beat as well from Donatello, just to make sure that nobody falls in the midst of that push. These rush composition, these brawls get pretty chaotic, so we'll see how that ends up playing out and how the damage mitigation comes out from Donatello and the Ned. The Ned going critically low has to proc the Immortality field as well to save themselves. The Ned Zed gets frozen here and might be taken out of the fight. Gravitic Flux comes in to save Zed here, and Point is going to start building some progress, but Zebs is really responsive here. Another shatter block from Kaiser by Zed. Really good use of the barrier there, and Sebs is going to find Snake and Truejoy as well. Kaiser goes down, and that's another team fight cleaned up by the bench here.
Oh man, that reminds me of these stories I heard of Kaiser back in preschool, where he hated rectangles so much he'd smash them up as hard as he could.
I mean, he's going for it, and he's already 17% to another shatter. He's gonna have another one here in a little bit, but that's the second or third shatter now that's been blocked by Zed. Is Kaiser known for being better or worse at those Reinhardt mind games?
He's not known for Rhine.
Oh, really? Okay, mostly for D.Va or an off tank.
Yeah, it's really weird seeing Snake on D.Va rather than on this, but I guess that they don't really have a choice. Maybe I wasn't feeling it.
Maybe not, but oh, definitely not feeling that as the shatter comes out onto Kaiser, knocks him on the back, and Archivist does find Donatello in the meantime. Kaiser finding two Zeds and Sebs both going down the Amplification Matrix, and really not getting a lot of value there for the bench, and Maelstrom will cap with 2.5, a little under minutes remaining. This means that they can't lose this match.
That's good to hear. My channel points seem a little bit safer.
Your channel points are a little bit safer, but if the bench manages to draw, your channel points are still at stake here, and that's what the bench is looking to do. Is at least if they can't take this map from Maelstrom and call it a series here, they're definitely looking to make sure that Maelstrom doesn't get that next point. Because remember, it is still 3-2. The bench needs 1 point to win the game, and Maelstrom needs 1 point to really make this series match point and go all the way here. I think, James, we're probably going to see them opt for this, for the same rush style based composition.
Ooh, Srath on Widow. I taught him how to play Widow, so take that how you will.
I'm gonna take that as a great thing here. Having your wisdom and insight in the booth, James, that just leads me to believe that Srath is gonna pop off this particular round, and Maelstrom needs him to. He's come in clutch with the picks on the Kree. We saw that a couple of times, getting a double kill there on the attack and the defense here for Hanamura so far. So Srath on the Widow, maybe ordinarily I wouldn't hold my breath, but with your reassurance saying that you trained him, I have high expectations.
Man, they should have subbed him, Chris.
Yeah, I am missing Christian a little bit. We have Table Woe in the chat saying make James a caster permanently. I wish, Table Woe, maybe for
I don't have enough
Prospect
points for that.
eSports
Sorry.
Showdown Season 4. Oh, not enough points. You need quite a bit for that. No, you just need
Not
some.
with the way Maelstrom's going.
No, just some good attitude and volunteering spirit. And we have the objective fight here. Immortality Field already coming out from Maelstrom, securing their foothold firmly on the objective. Madsen does find Strath out of the point, so maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, a little bit too highly of Strath on the Widowmaker, but Madsen's been doing work on the DPS role so far. Point being held pretty stalwartly here by the bench. Zed going in for the pin, not quite connecting. We all know pin broke on the Reinhardt. Zed's probably saying that should have connected onto Kaiser, and Zed will be punished for it by Snake. Snake, who's been demeched, isn't going to offer much point presence, and the bench will be able to hold this objective with 1.5 minutes remaining in the time bank. They don't need to hold for much longer, but James, we're seeing ultimates come up online for Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, I can see that we're gonna have Diva Bomb, and that is probably the second best Diva I've ever seen.
Snake is, I mean, they have proven themselves time and time again on this tank roll, and they're not going to waste any time connecting the objective. Seb's getting a little bit caught out, having to proc up the kinetic grasp there. Ends up getting punished in the process. Truzoy just saying, yeah, no, I'm here, I'm going to freeze you, you're going to go down. Sarath gets Aurora out of the fight with a critical hit, and I think that this is it for the bench. The bomb comes in from Snake, finds Madsen as the wall comes down. Zed and Archivist alone on the objective, and really with not much hope, Strath finds the final blow onto Archivist, and this series will go the length. Maelstrom evens it out. It is 3-3. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here watching, then you are here for just such a spectacular series. Proceed Zed with play of the game. I would have liked to see Kaiser. I know, James, you would have liked to see Kaiser as well, but this was a big shatter here. Good fire strike as well.
Oh, yeah.
Some discipline as well to not charge immediately. Still goes for that, but ultimately it's going to yield those critical picks there. So now it's going to be... Table was saying, I liked when he said the bench turned into a table and Maelstrom got knocked over. Yeah, that was pretty funny. GS John saying, who let him cast? Caster biased. No. We love James. We love James in the in the casting booth right now. Maybe if you had 10,000 channel points, GS, you could come in and cast as well. Show James how it's done. But for this last match, I'm gonna really appreciate having James' insight here for his team. We'll be going into our next map, which let me check the map pool. I have it pulled down for some reason. We'll be going into our next hybrid map, Kings Row, Blizzard World. I'm sorry, Kings Row or Eichenwald. Since the bench lost, they'll be able to choose this next map. Is there any particular map out of these two that you'd like to see, James?
What were the two maps?
Kings Row or Eichenwald.
Oh, they're definitely gonna go Kings Row. I don't even have to think about it. But I'm very excited to see how Truzoy reacts when he gets benched.
I think have we seen any substitutions come in quite yet? No substitutions yet, but Truzoy possibly getting benched. Truzoy did good work on the May though, particularly on that attack round. In some of the walls really were really good. Archivist I think is showing up Truzoy just a little bit in the ice wall department here, just a little bit stronger, being able to be so responsive to block some of these really important ultimates like Amplification Matrix and High Noon, as we saw them do. Madsen has shown us the flexibility on the DPS role, so do you think that between these two DPS players for the bench, do you think that Truzoy is maybe getting outmatched, or maybe that just Christian is a better substitution?
Oh well, there's no question there. Chris should always be subbed in for this gamer, but I think he's just on his off roll, so it's fine.
Gotcha. In the meantime, Snake and Kaiser, I think, might have been the linchpin to success here. I did like watching Truzoy play on the tank role. Do you think that we'll just see him benched, or that we'll see him substitute back in for Snake or Kaiser?
Couldn't tell you. Too much to think about there.
I am kind of missing the Ned on DPS. I don't know if you heard in the broadcast earlier this evening, but I actually did. I was playing just some solo queue ranked today, and ended up with the Ned nerd on my team. Of course, he absolutely carried my team to victory on Lijiang Tower. So going into this series, my money was on Maelstrom, but bench has shown us just a really spectacular show. And just the fact that this series has gone the length, it's not a 4-0, it's not a clean sweep or a 3 or a 4-1 like we're seeing a lot of in Overwatch League right now. Although that's 3-1. But anyways, just that is so exciting to me. It makes it hard to really pick a favorite here for this matchup.
These bench kids had better pop off and give these Maelstrom kids a run for their money, because I know for a fact that they came into this, they were like, oh, we're about to just lay it on the table and scare them. Nothing else.
So
But
perhaps a little bit of hubris working against Maelstrom here.
oh yeah, they didn't expect to lose this at all. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
They came into this with the biggest ego, and they're gonna get. I know that they've been set down.
Gotcha. Well, Maelstrom came in confident, and for those of us who are watching, you guys should be confident as well as we begin to cast our predictions. Don't forget to throw those out there, build up those channel points so that you can join me in the booth like good old James this evening. We really appreciate his presence tonight, and additionally, you'll come in with insights and feedback into the team and the bench ops for Eichenwald. James, you're probably feeling a little bit betrayed right now.
Truzoy and Chris playing Eichenwald. There is okay. I can I bet still? Am I able to bet for Maelstrom right now? Because I have a good feeling about this.
Okay, gotcha. Now we do have Kristen coming in for Strath, and said in the match. Okay, saying we pick Ike. I've never heard anybody call Eichenwald Ike. It's Zed. You're gonna have to relax a little bit. So who are the key members of Maelstrom to be looking at in this next map? Our match point, our grand finals map.
I think you can keep your camera on Chris the entire game, and he will not disappoint the entire time.
Okay, gotcha. Meanwhile, playing Devils, or rather the bench's advocate here, I'm gonna tell you guys, keep your eye on Sebs, on Archivist, less on Archivist, more on Matson, and Silver as well. We've seen what kinds of things Silver can get away with. I'm sure Maelstrom was peeking into the stream when I said earlier that you shut Silver down and you can easily swing this series. But Sebs on the off tank role is doing really good as well. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. And here shortly we'll be going into our final map of the series, a series which has gone the length, which has been exciting, has had its ups and downs. We've had some technical difficulties, some brief breaks, a fantastic ad break brought to us by Laurel here in the casting booth, and all culminating in this last map where James gets to join us after spending those 10,000 channel points. Be sure to build those up, guys. Play the prediction game. I think it's up live right now. Cast those predictions, and like I said, here shortly we'll be going into our final map. I say here shortly. I'm actually. Go ahead, James.
Oh, this is like the Dust 2 of this game, isn't it?
What'd you
Everyone
say?
knows how to play this map.
Yeah,
No.
a little bit. I actually didn't get the connection. Is that a CS:GO? Is that
Oh
a
yeah,
CS:GO?
that's
God,
Counter-Strike
I'm like an old
Source.
man. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I CS:GO is actually so Overwatch is one of my first ever online games. It's definitely one of my first first person shooters on the PC particularly. I played CS:GO for about 15 minutes. I realized everyone who plays that game is exponentially better than me. I raged, and then I uninstalled that game. I never looked at it again, and then Overwatch
That's
dropped.
the life cycle.
That's how it goes. And now I'm even playing a little bit of Valorant too, and I'm like, why am I like? You would have never caught me playing Valorant years ago, but all these competitive games, they get me pretty, they get me going. Even if the competitive scene for these games are a little bit of a joke, as I've heard many or much anecdotal evidence expressed there. But it leads to some really great opportunities to watch team play, like we've seen tonight. Some really great opportunities for these players, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and even past that, have opportunities to really show off their skills. And that's why this matchup is so exciting to me, is because we have Maelstrom, the #1 seed. They've been doing so good in the offseason and in the playoffs bracket as well. And then you have the bench, who I haven't actually gotten to see them play at all, and I was going into this saying Maelstrom, I thought that they were going to win relatively easily as well, but the bench is really showing us that they have fuel in the tank. They have game knowledge, they've got skill, and they can bring it to Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, They definitely put them in their place, but them popping off in playoffs didn't come from nothing because they don't call him playoffs Chris for nothing. He makes 300K a year, I hear.
And I said, and I'm seeing, I'm just observing the chat here while we wait for to get into this next map. UMUs, no, I'm 2.5K off joining cast. Oh, that's unfortunate. UMUs, you gotta play your cards right with those predictions, my guy. You bet everything you got onto the teams that you know for a fact will win, as we thought that Maelstrom would this evening. A little bit of a teeth grinder. This match has turned out to be. A buzzer Overwatch saying Ned is bad. Ned ain't bad, dude. Like I said, he carried me earlier
He's
in
the
my
carry,
competition.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's the carry.
exactly. And
He
I
keeps his push
told
to
you guys.
talk button down the whole game.
I mean, James, you heard me say it. I told you before Hanamura began that having the net on flex support might actually be part of the recipe for success here for this Maelstrom squad. And I mean, I wasn't necessarily right, but I wasn't quite wrong either there. So Ned being bad, washed player, bro. If you want a washed player, you can look at this guy named Lord Thiethan, who's in the casting booth right now, just running his mouth, dude. That's a washed player there. Bench players must. Muse trying to gain millions. Yeah, gain those millions of channel points so that you can just join the casting booth infinitely. I'd love to have you in here, you Muse, especially after a
I
big
owe him
compliment the
everything.
other day. What'd you say?
I owe him everything. I told him to vote for bench when I knew Maelstrom was gonna win. Oh, took all his points.
Oh no, a little bit of sabotage. Some some sabotage there from James. James's best caster? Yes, actually. In the same way that James taught Srath everything they know on Widow, I
Yeah, I
learned
taught him how to use the op back in Source.
I learned everything about casting from James, who's joining us tonight. So make casting great again. Vote James. Yeah, James has my vote. If we ever do casting or channel points for casters, you know I'm betting everything. My measly 3K on James as a caster. You Amuse, if I win this, I will have enough channel points to go into the booth a lot during GOATs. I'd love to have, honestly, guys, again, play the predictions game. It's fun in and of itself. You get those channel points, but I would love to have any of you guys, as well as Laura, Athena, Brian, Wild. We want you guys in the casting booth, especially for something like the GOATs tournament. Speaking of the GOATs tournament, James, what is your opinion on that composition?
I have no idea anything about any of that.
Oh, did you join
I'm
after?
not well versed in any of that.
Oh, gotcha. Did you start playing Overwatch after the GOATs era of Overwatch?
I think I started playing Overwatch exactly a year and a month ago.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. So relatively fresh blood to the game, not quite the Overwatch League veteran, but or Overwatch veteran, but not quite the Overwatch baby, as I like to call those low-level bronze border accounts that we all know is actually just some top 500 player on their platinum Smurf account, right? And
Oh yeah.
but okay, interesting. So I've had this conversation a couple times on screen or on stream during these broadcasts. I actually really like the rush-based composition, the Lucio Baptiste, the Reinhardt, the Diva. Part of the reason for that is because it reminds me very much of the GOATS era, of the GOATS composition. Because it's one thing to rush into an engagement, to blow all of your cooldowns and hope that something works, right? It's another thing to have an order of operations, right? You get the Mei wall out, and if you get the Mei wall out, then you can go. You don't have to use the lamp. If you get the Mei wall out, and so you have someone blocked off, you weren't able to bait that, then use the immortality field, and then you can amp up speed or heals, or there's an order of operations. There's a cleanliness to the way that rush is supposed to be played.
Of course.
And the same goes for any composition out there. But rush definitely more so than a lot of these compositions, at least as far as I've noticed. I'm gonna see at True. We got Srath kind of adding you in the chat right now. True's like, since when did James teach me everything I know about Widow? Since when was that, James?
Oh, nothing. You can ignore that.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I mean, I'll vouch for James'
He
integrity.
Yeah, he definitely did have to forget with the way he played that. You know, I didn't host my 3-hour playing sessions for $89.99 a month just so that he could go and make a mockery of my class.
That's right. No, no, no. That wasn't that was not the plan there. And it looks like we're going to be getting a ready from both of these teams here shortly. If you've been watching and just listening to the discourse, thanks so much for hearing me rant and ramble. Of course, James is the star of the show tonight, but I just love talking, and so here shortly we'll be able to hear a little bit more James. And definitely watch a lot more Overwatch. So don't go anywhere, guys, because it's about to get exciting. Tavo, well, can I spend my channel points to give James another cast game? Honestly, I might beg production to not have it cost any channel points to get James back in the booth tonight. Tavo Wo says they got 60 points. James, what can you do with 60 points?
I can bet it all on the bench. And in that 99-1, I
Okay.
can get halfway there.
That's right. That's right.
And then beg Maelstrom to throw.
That's what we're gonna have to do to make those 60 points, maybe a little bit more than 60. Just
Maybe
barely
I
enough to
cast
go
them losing, and they'll feel it.
That's yeah, honestly. I mean, Maelstrom, in your presence, James, they definitely don't want to lose this. We're getting questions. So we draw to go to map 8. I wouldn't complain about going to map 8, but I want to see hybrid. I want to see Eichenwald played, even if it isn't King's Row. I do like Eichenwald, one of my personal favorites. Is there a particular composition that you like seeing Maelstrom run on Eichenwald?
On Ike, I actually prefer to see Chris on Symmetra, and
Interesting.
sometimes I see Truzio play on May.
Okay.
Really, really, I'm not sure how I would like the tanks to go, but at least that's on attack. But
Gotcha.
I'm
Well,
not
looks
sure
like
how
we
everything else could go. What is that in the background? Something flew away. Oh, they hit a rock. Okay, never mind. It hit the moon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a. I think that we're just waiting on the lobby to actually get set up. Just a little bit of fun and games happening. Teams are warming back up after that little brief game or brief break that we had there. Spacefire Overwatch. Seb's goated. Seb's is a little bit goated, actually. Youmu's Overwatch. Wait, if I sub, do I get to join cast? I believe it's tier 3 subscription. Enables you to be able to join casts, join us in the casting booth. Of course, again, you could spend your channel points as well. I think is an alternative. Definitely a question for some of the staff members here for Prospect Esports. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely versed as I should be as a caster. I'm not entirely versed on exactly what those look like, but as you guys take those questions to the staff members in the Discord, then we can look at these compositions. Here we see James the rush composition from Maelstrom. Christian is on McCree over Strath. I'm sure you feel a little bit better about that, right?
Yeah, I saw Chris on that one map, the desert one.
Anubis,
He's so
right?
good. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Anubis. He's just so sexy all the time. Actually, never mind. He's very handsome. I forgot his age.
Very.
Yeah, so he's doing really good.
Gotcha. Donatello on the net on the Lucio DPS. Everything is pretty typical here for both these teams. As the gates open up, we're going to be looking for just as clean engagement as possible. But look at the way, look at how fast we're going to see Maelstrom coming into this fight. Immortality field already dropped here by Silver. Walls coming up from both sides. Immortality going away there for the bench. And the bench looking pretty good as Aurora picks the net out of the fight. Snake is going to peel back for the rest of the team. Aurora finds Kaiser as well, so that's sustained and point presence gone, and Zed finds the final blows onto Snake on Truzoy. It's looking pretty rough for Maelstrom on this first hold, or this first point hold. Christian does get the stun and the final blow onto Silver, but I don't think it's going to slow down this objective progress that the bench is making, James.
And this is not as per usual when I see Chris playing, but he is the only one who popped off, so I mean, everyone's just going to keep up. They're really holding him back, I feel, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looked like everyone had just kind of collapsed there for Maelstrom. They wanted to do something cheeky, take kind of this faux forward hold, and it really didn't pay out. Would it have been safer to just play conventional, play the choke?
You know, with their team, I'm sure they're all playing for themselves, and you know that's all you can really ask for. As long as they're not going out of their way to mess anyone up.
I mean, look at this. They rush so quickly onto the other side of the portcullis, and Kaiser is punished for the rotation. A really good rotation from the bench. The high noon does come out from Christian, doesn't quite secure anything in the immortality field. He's going to make sure that nobody on the bench falls out of this fight. Trusoy's looking for a freeze there, and really the sides are all
falling. There
topsy-turvy.
goes the Rhine.
Oh, there goes Zed. Look at that. The Donatello poof onto the main tank here for the bench, but the bench looking still strong in this objective. Look at the way that these teams have rotated here, and Christian going for the stun, but not able to find the final blow. Or comes in clutch with the beat as the bomb is dropped underneath the portcullis here. Seb's frozen, but is able to, barely able to remake. Kaiser finds them out, and Seb is reconnected to the team. The high noon is actually coming out from Maelstrom. Doesn't quite find anything. The amplification matrix dropped by Silver. I'm curious about whether or not that was the right play, and as Aurora gets Trusoy out of the fight, it's looking like this might swing in the bench's favor. Wow, that was honestly kind of a messy team fight, don't you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. They're all over it. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh no, I was saying kind of a messy fight there.
Oh yeah, they're really going for it. Snake is doing his best to not feed as usual, but he's coming out.
To feed as usual. I mean, like I said earlier, we've seen Snake doing really good on this D.Va, and I think that they're trying to appeal here, but the rotations from the bench are really clean, and we're going to see the high noon coming out from Christian yet again. The immortality field deployed for the side of the bench. Bomb coming out from Snake does find two. Zed and Aurora out of the fight as the Blizzard freezes the rest of Maelstrom up on top. Madsen and Sebs coming in clutch with those picks. I don't think that this is going to slow down card progress anymore. Madsen does miss the stun, but he does get the final blow onto Trusoy. And as Snake tries to contest the objective, it looks like they might get Demect. Yes, they are going to get Demect here. And oh man, Kaiser goes down as well. What is this, James?
Oh my gosh, you can flash out of a remake?
That's brutal. Donatello trying to stall the objective, wall riding, going for the boop. Does find Aurora, unlucky, but it's only Trusoy here on the May contesting the objective. And now Kaiser and Donatello have reconnected to the point. Zed does find the pin onto Kaiser and is frozen, and Kaiser gets frozen. Hammer comes down onto Snake, but the Blizzard from Trusoy is responsive here to freeze the remaining two members of the bench and stabilize this objective. Really, it seems for the first time this map. Oh, the bench is still fighting, but they need to get out. Yeah.
Oh, that seems to be my mother with my itching cream. That is for my anus. I will be...
You do what you gotta do, James. In the meantime, we took a look at the ultimate percentage that's being built up on the side of Maelstrom. They'll be coming up on the beat and the amplification matrix. Kaiser is going to have the shatter coming into this next fight. Madsen, however, is good with the high noon, and Seb is going to be looking for a great opportunity for a bomb. Won't be able to find it off the back of a Blizzard since Archivist is only 67% to ult. Madsen goes in for the high noon. Won't be able to really find anything. Maelstrom's just kind of rotating past the line of sight into the castle, but they're yielding a lot of space here for the objective. Archivist goes for the wall. The beat drops for Maelstrom, and the amplification matrix is cast. Zed blocks the shatters. The bomb is lobbed by Sebs. Finds the Ned. Trusoy goes down as well, and so does Donatello. The remake kill onto Kaiser, and that's going to be it, I think, for the second point home. Snake is trying to find anyone he can with the bomb, but isn't going to secure anything. Does get the remake off onto Archivist. Remake kills galore. I love to see it. And now I think that the point will be captured here by the bench. 3 minutes remaining in the time bank, and they're looking pretty good. Madsen just pushing forward, trying to see if they can get an early pick and get closer to that high noon. High noon is such a quick building ultimate here, and Archivist equipped with a Blizzard is going to make for a good combination with Zed and the Shatter. Meanwhile, only the amplification matrix here for the Maelstrom is going to be cast. Fire Strike being eaten there by Sebs. Hammer does come down onto Zed, ends up being punished for that aggressive positioning there. And Mortality Field comes out just to make sure, I think, that the team doesn't die there. Maelstrom will be able to, I think, stabilize off the back of the amplification matrix and the Shatter from Kaiser. Already 44 for... Oh, Kaiser didn't shatter. That was Zed who shattered, and it got blocked, I think. Oh, that is my bad. Now Kaiser does get Mats out of the fight. That's the last pick here of this team fight. And once again, that's a stabilization here for Maelstrom, but we're going to see a quick re-engagement coming in for the bench. 2 minutes is a good time bank to work with. Coming around this corner is it's a complicated endeavor here. We've got the ults to do it though. Madsen has the high noon. We're still seeing on that Blizzard. Madsen props the high noon up on the stairs here. The speed boost is going to help to find the pick onto Kristen, and the wall is going to separate the teams, to keep the team sustained. And the Blizzard gets eaten from Archivist. Snake consuming the ultimate, saying, no, you don't get to freeze my team. Instead, the freeze is going to be coming out onto Zed and Sebs here. The tanks for the bench, and Zed is going to go down. Now Kaiser goes down as well, so it could go either way at this point. Bomb coming out from Sebs is going to be looking for big picks. Doesn't quite find anything, but Sebs will not be able to remake. Donatello finding the boot final blow onto that. Christian cleaning things up with picks onto Aurora and Silver. Now a minute and a half remaining. Ooh, Christian popping off there on the creep with a triple kill. I mean, that is solid. That is really good.
A new code has been applied. I'm back in the action.
All right. So do you think that Maelstrom has what it takes to hold this third objective here?
With their comp, oh yeah, 100%. I don't see them touching that yellow dot.
Now the net deployed the implication matrix, didn't quite get the value done we were hoping to get. Christian does pop the high noon. Everything seemed okay there for the bench, and the shatter does come down from Kaiser. Knocks Sebs on their back, but Archivist finds Christian out of the fight. Beat's gonna come out from Donatello's. The high noon comes out from Madsen as well. Sebs finds the booster's final blow onto Kaiser there. So there's the main tank presence gone out of the fight. Donatello's looking to stall, but won't be able to stay on it. This card's going to be able to advance around this third corner. They have to stop it, and they're only going to have a bomb to do it. Will Truezoid be able to build the Blizzard path enough? All they need is the bomb from Snake. All right, you heard it here first. James coming in clutch with the predictions here, using the bomb to clear the cart of the attackers. Blizzard's going to come out from Archivist. Bomb does find Aurora. That's no good since Aurora was 72% to beat. But the cart, it will advance. No, James, what is your team doing?
Holding W.
Oh no, at the wrong time. You normally want to just tape down that W key, but in this instance, you needed to take the tape off there. Look at this match chat. Charles the Ninth strikes again.
Man. He keeps getting away with it.
I mean, and this isn't the first time that I think we've seen a C9 this series. We saw a little bit from the bench earlier this evening. The Geneva Convention are only recommendations. I don't even know what that means, but I still think it's a little bit comical coming from the Ned. So now my question is, we're gonna have Maelstrom on the attack round. They're opting for this double bubble composition. We've seen this a little bit on Watchpoint Gibraltar. It didn't end up working out well for them. In the meantime, though, we do have the rush-based composition for the bench. Will the double bubble still succeed against this rush-based composition that the bench is using?
You know, I've been confident in my team for this whole time, but they've done nothing but let me down. But I think this one time, I think they're going to be able to pull it together. I'm going to keep my confidence strong. I think they can do it.
I mean, they're going to have to get that title. Champions of Season 3, Prospect eSports Showdown, Upper Division. They're going to have to take this. Krishan the Tracer is going to be one to keep your eyes on, as well as Truezoid on the Pharah. Does that make you a little bit nervous, James?
It didn't even register that he was playing that character. I am terrified.
Okay, so things look a little bit dreary possibly here, and really no dive here. It's really just an all-out brawl, and Snake is going to get punished for that. Zed getting the final blow onto that damage boost to Truezoid, not really coming in with a substantial damage. But we do have the cart contested here by, oh goodness, who was it by? It's by Christian on the Tracer. Manages almost to get a tick, but that progress is eventually going to wear down as Maelstrom get the stun onto Christian. Christian's going to have to back out of there, but Maelstrom is not out of this fight quite yet. Looking for the final blow. Christian is looking to take Archivist out of the fight. Archivist actually gets Christian, which is no good. The wall coming up is going to help to cut off the rest of the team, so that bench can focus on Truezoid, who barrages down Zed here. Got Sebs chasing Truezoid. He's going to end up getting demecked here. That's not the kind of point presence that you want to lose, but Silver does get the final blow onto Truezoid there. Nano coming out onto Snake is going to amplify so much damage coming out to high energy Zarya. Snake, however, frozen, might be able to stay topped up by Donatello, popping the Valkyrie here on the objective, looking more and more dreary as the resources here are drained for the forces of the bench. High Noon coming out in response to a shatter from Madsen, actually finds Donatello as Archivist gets the net out of the fight as well. The Ned, the clutch flex support. Snake finds Archivist in the midst of the Blizzard cast, and Kaiser pops the Primal Rage to eliminate Zed from the fight. Silver is reconnected back to the objective, and Zebs is on it as well. Finds Truzoy out of the fight with the assistance of Silver. Postbomb coming out onto Silver, just barely jumps out of there, but still is tethered by Kaiser on the Tesla cannon. It's going so fast that it's so hard to keep up with which team is going to emerge on top. The respawns are coming in so quickly here for Maelstrom, and I don't know if Maelstrom is going to be able to take, or if the bench is going to be able to hold, but it looks like they're going to be able to possibly stabilize off the back of a beat, and the Zed's going to launch the bomb as well, looking for that pick. It finds Truzoy! Oh no, James, your disappointment! It must be immeasurable here as Truzoy taking on the fight as well as Donatello. Now we'll see the first stabilization, and only a minute 30 on the clock.
Man, I would hate to know how these comms are going from Kaiser, because knowing him, oh man, everything behind him is just getting yelled at.
I mean, the question that I know we're asking is, why did we lose that? Kaiser now swapping onto Ryan is going to make things happen here. Has to do it possibly off the back of a Grapton Surge coming out from Sneka. But the net dropping to the damage amplified Fire Strike is not what you want to see. Light up the kill feed early in the fight. Zed is going to follow up with an elimination onto Truzoy. Uses the hammer to send them careening off the edge. Kaiser struggling to maintain presence in the choke as Donatello tries to thwart the incoming damage. Christian prompting the E5 out, has the pulse bomb going to be coming into this next fight, but we're going to see a reset coming out from Maelstrom. Oh, James. I don't know, dude.
Looking at the screen in front of me, absolutely winnable.
Absolutely winnable with 50 seconds in the bank, a pulse bomb
They
and
win.
a Grapton Surge. We're counting on a clutch immortality real from Silver. Silver caught in the Grapton Surge. Christian taken out of the fight, wasn't able to get value out of the pulse bomb. Shadow from Kaiser is going to knock the force of the bench off their back, and Snake is going to be able to be free to rein in the damage. But Kaiser and Truce will go down. Snake is the only one remaining. Props the particle barrier on themselves, but isn't going to be able to mitigate the damage. It's 30 seconds remaining in the time bank. James, something has to happen. They don't have any ultimates in the bank. Maelstrom has to take this objective, and they're going to be playing into a high noon amplification matrix and a bomb.
And it's never been more winnable.
It's never been more winnable. It's never been more winnable as the high noon comes down. It's not going to quite find anything. It's going to eat into the damage mitigation resources that Snake has. The amplification matrix is dropped up on the objective. Snake is going to go in after Silver, who's able to just live through that. Donatello does find that final blow, but Zed in the meantime has found their matchup, and Kaiser. Christian does get Zed out of the fight. Finally, things are starting to work out for Maelstrom, but losing Truzoy is not what you want to see. We get the beat coming out from the bench here to keep them sustained on the objective. A Demex Snake House fighting for their life. Finally, it's only Christian, now Donatello. It looks like Kaiser reconnected to the objective, and the net is now on the Moira. We got Wrecking Ball on Moira. Lots of sustain, lots of point presence here for both of these teams, but I don't know if Maelstrom is going to have what it takes to stay on top. We got spinning to winning coming out from Kaiser. Ned goes down. Sebs finds Kaiser. It's no time remaining. The overtime wick is activated. It's wicking down, and we have our champions.
GG.
The holders of the title of champions of Season 3 Prospect eSports Showdown. Upper Division goes to the bench.
And the star DPS player getting play of the game.
Christian popping off here, and I'm gonna have to catch my breath. I mean, that was so crazy. Christian absolutely doing everything that they needed to do to clean up that fight, and just ultimately it wasn't enough. The damage wasn't enough to swing some of those team fights. I think Maelstrom overcommitted to some of these fights that they lost on their attack round. I can't even say that on a certain point. It was just the entire attack round was just that first point. James, I'm so sorry about your channel points.
Why are there so many birds in the chat?
I don't understand what this bird seed thing is. I don't understand. I don't understand it. While we break down the details of this map, and while James overcomes the disappointment that is welling in his heart right now after seeing his team go down in that last map in the series that once again has gone the length, I think that we're going to have our MVP votes coming up online. I think our MVP for the bench will be coming in here first. We've got Zed, Archivist, and Silver. It's a tough call for me, so I'm going to leave it to the chat You guys tell me who you think should be crowned MVP of this matchup here for the bench. And shortly after that, we'll be going into MVP voting for Maelstrom because we saw them do some remarkable things. Christian, the Ned, and Snake, I believe, are candidates for that matchup. So now that you've had a minute, James, I just want to hear some of your feedback. You did get to see the first 3 games, I think you had said, and of course, sitting here in the casting booth with me, we got to watch a really good Hanamura and well, kind of a half-hearted attack on Eichenwald. What were some of your standout moments here from Maelstrom?
It was when the op was whipped out and things changed on Hanamura. That got me. But here on Ike, I didn't. I personally, I think that it was just a healer diff. But you don't hear me like calling out their healers. I do think that everyone on their team did really well. No one outshined anyone. I would be really surprised if they don't have a hard time picking him an MVP.
Yeah, honestly, I'm in that same boat right now. I don't know who to give it to. Zed for controlling the pace of the game, Archivist for the flexibility onto a critical DPS pick, especially in these rush-based compositions on the Mei. And me and Laura were talking about it earlier. I mean, you let Silver do whatever they want, and you will lose. So I think perhaps the win condition wasn't properly identified there for Maelstrom. We'll be able to figure that out from them here shortly. In the meantime, I think here momentarily we'll be able to get Archivist in the booth with us. We'll be able to ask them some questions, get some insight into how they're feeling. Thanks so much for taking that weight off my shoulders, chat. I appreciate you guys coming in clutch and making it to where I don't have to pick who the MVP is, because I would honestly pick all 6 of them, especially with these rush-based compositions, the double bubble composition. It takes a village. It really does.
Oh, I know who my MVP is going for. I sent one to Snake. He's gonna be real proud. I actually had a talk with the people from Maelstrom, the Snake guy, and he said if I get silver, I get a tryout, and I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, nice. That would be really exciting. Now, now I see chat already beginning to lament. Don't worry about it. We are gonna have MSP. Don't you worry. We're gonna figure out who did the absolute least here for the bench, and we'll be able to grill them about how poorly they performed for for our winning team here. In the meantime, our MVP has been voted. Snaka has been selected as our MVP for Maelstrom. Just played out of his mind tonight. But while we wait to bring him into the booth, ask them some questions, just get some feedback on how they did tonight, future plans as well, we have Archivist in here who was voted MVP. Archivist, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. This is the first time we've ever won anything. So
Really? Okay.
hyped to finally break our streak of losing map sevens. Got 2 in a row back to back this week and last week.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys won in that playoffs game to secure that 2nd seed here in this championship. Made sure that you guys had the opportunity at least to get that Grandfinals title or Grand Championship title, even if you lost it tonight. But you guys won. How are your nerves?
Nerves were actually pretty good all throughout. They started getting a little bit high at the end because map 7 is kind of stressful for everyone, but I feel
Yeah.
like that's what changed the most for us. Like how we developed as a team across all the leagues we've been in is we've learned to just like calm down and stay focused.
Yeah.
And that's really helped us win.
That's a call that I've heard in my solo queue competitive games as well, and we're hearing it in the Overwatch League. If you guys tune in to that, we get brief insights into their communications where some of their team leaders, the team captains, are saying, "Look, calm down. Like it's still winnable or it's still losable. Like don't get too excited. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Just play the video game, right?"
Yep.
And that's exactly what you guys did. Now you mentioned a little bit, Archivist, about the growth of the team over time. Would you say that there were any noticeable weaknesses in early season that ended up getting ironed out, especially for this particular game?
I think it's mostly just mistakes of like synergy building up of not getting caught out alone. I think the biggest thing was our building up our skill on double bubble. That's like our main comp. So getting that built up over the course of the season, by the end, I think we were super dominant on it. Like whenever we ran it on Weizhang, we just usually 2-0 people, and it tended to carry over. It was kind of a struggle tonight because we had to play a lot more brawl than we'd have liked, but we
Yeah.
ended up doing well in that too. Like we really turned it around on Nepal. So
Oh, and it was funny to me, especially as far as the narrative of this match goes, to see Maelstrom at times dragged into the the double bubble composition that you guys were running just to match you, and then you guys were dragged into the brawl, the rush style based composition, because that's what that's what Maelstrom was doing. So a little bit of a toss up as far as what we saw from both teams tonight. You guys definitely ended up being demonstrating a little bit more flexibility. I'm about to add one of you guys team members just to get the replay code so that I can just look at how spectacular you guys ran that double bubble composition. That was a particularly great treat for me to watch. I'm a big fan of that one.
yeah, shout
So
out to our coach Divinity for coaching us on that.
okay, yeah, no, it's that's awesome. It's a fun one to run, but like I said, you guys displayed a really good flexibility tonight. That being said, James and Laura, we got Laura back in the booth. Do you guys have any questions for our MVP of the champions, the champion team, the bench?
How does it feel being the best in this league?
Not just the best, but best of the best. Being
It's
MVP.
wacky. It's wacky. This team started in week 0 season 2 where we barely got one win the entire season. And so like we have grown so much from there, and we've lost like 7 map 5s. And so we're just not used to clutching, and we're finally clutch, and it feels great.
Yeah, I absolutely imagine that does. So now you guys will be able to take it easy, maybe play a couple of warm down or cool down quick play games, or just kind of celebrate as a team, and call it a good hard day's work. Definitely a hard season's work as well. Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys possibly play in the future, whether it's for Prospect eSports Showdown Season 4 or for our Goats tournament or any one of the other tournaments that we saw advertised in the halftime show this evening. That being said, that's going to be it from me, I think. Laura, unless you guys or James, unless you guys have any other questions.
Not
Thank
the
you
top.
for not feeding on Anubis. You winning on Anubis your team winning on Anubis is the only reason I'm here today. I bet a 1-7 bet.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
5,000 points.
I'm basically used to be a Junkrat one trick that hit 3800 only on Junkrat, so we went to Anubis just for that, just for you.
well,
But
it's
yeah.
smart
Strong.
played.
I'm so thankful for that because having James in the booth tonight was such a treat. So Archivist, yeah, absolutely massive shout out to you, not only for doing so well on the DPS on the flex DPS role this evening, but also enabling James to join us this evening.
Yeah.
Like I said, Archivist, congratulations on your victory tonight. Give all of our regards to the rest of the team. Let them know that we think they played spectacularly, and you have a great rest of the evening.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Of course, thank you. Now, guys, we'll be having our MVP for Maelstrom. Of course, it had to go to Sneka, and he is in the booth with us now. Sneka, how are you feeling after this match?
Defeated, tired, sad.
It was a long series. I can't imagine that you would be just leaping and bounding with energy at this time. Now, you mentioned just a little bit of defeat, maybe some dismay regarding this loss. At one point, or at what point? Because there had to have been some kind of disconnect that happened at some point. At what point did you say really kind of morale and energy plummeted to enable the bench to really swing this series?
I wouldn't say there was ever a point where our morale plummeted, but we just didn't adapt well enough against their double bubble comp. Like, yeah, we thought of strats to run around it, but unfortunately, they just didn't pan out. Yeah, so unlucky.
Gotcha. And I noticed that both teams had kind of forced each other into these various compositions, right? At one point, the bench is running their off composition, the rush-based composition, because you guys were dominating on that composition. At one point, you guys are running double bubble just because that felt like the only way to match the bench. Certainly you guys looked more comfortable on the rush-based composition. Is that right?
Yeah, we're more comfortable on Rush because that's usually like one of the two comps that we've been practicing the most. There's another comp that we usually play, but we felt like it wouldn't work against them, so we didn't really play it as much as we probably should because I feel like we were more comfortable on it. But oh well, you live and you learn.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And talking about Rush, and I had this conversation with James a little bit ago earlier, and you might you might agree with me or just think that I'm talking out of my ass here. Rush style composition kind of reminds me a little bit of Goat's composition as well. So talking about your preferences for the Rush composition, and as we begin to wrap up Prospect Esports Showdown Season 3 and get into the summer, which is when I'm pretty sure we'll be having our Goats tournament. Can we look forward to seeing Maelstrom or some team from Delta compete in that tournament? And will we be seeing you play?
I'll ask them. I'll ask them, see if they want to commit, or yeah, see if they want to commit. But right now, I don't think right now is the best time to ask them. Everyone was pretty
Yeah,
down after we lost, so
yeah, it's definitely time to rest and recover a little bit, and eventually get that energy cranking back up to see about future prospective opportunities. That being said, you guys had a really good regular season. Demonstrated some really great proficiencies in the playoff matches, which I had the pleasure of casting one. I think one of those as well. I don't know if you caught it, but earlier today I played a game with Ned in a competitive game. He completely carried my ass, and
hey,
so yeah. So I was looking forward to seeing you guys win. You guys still played really well. So that's gonna be it from me. So Laura or James, you guys have any questions for Snake here?
Look, I'm on the TV.
What was that?
Steven, look, I'm on the TV.
He's on the TV.
I know.
Now, Steven, what plans do you have going forward? I know you are a strong part of Delta as well. Are you going to be joining us for our GOAT season? Or are you going to be taking a break and maybe going into another league?
As of right now, the team kind of wants to take a break because that was really disheartening. Like we played and practiced so well, and then all of it just kind of be ripped away in pretty much one fight. Just kind of screwed us over. But I mean, overall, I think we're still going to compete in other leagues. Just at this moment, we're taking a break. So
And that is completely understandable. A lot of teams take breaks after tournaments, whether they win or not. Your Maelstrom has fought so hard, tooth and nail, this entire series, and it's a break well deserved.
thank you. I think everyone on my team, especially Maelstrom, played very well. Yeah, I guess sometimes you just have those days, and today wasn't our day. Unlucky. GG, go next.
Yeah, there was only one map that, and I believe it was Nepal, that just really wasn't Maelstrom's map. But other than that, you guys were really neck and neck. And in Lijiang, it was 100 or 99 to 99. So right out of the bat, you guys fought hard, and you fought hard all the way up to the end.
Yeah.
And so definitely deserve a break. And I look forward to seeing what Maelstrom pulls off in the future once they come back refreshed.
Thank you. Before I go, just one shout out to to two of the OG members of Maelstrom, Truzoy and Chris. I've been playing with those guys for about a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say about a year. It's been about a year, close to a year. So shout out to those two. I've been playing with them for a while. Chris is. I'm just telling you, if Chris wasn't with us, like any other team would be lucky to have him. Same with Truzoy. Like both those guys are just phenomenal players. I'm proud to have them on my team, and along with everyone else on Maelstrom. But just a special shout out to those two, just because I've known them the longest. So that's all I really have to say.
The synergy really does show. All the love sent to Truzoy and Chris. We are probably going to wrap up for the interview with Steven so that we can get our MSP in here. Thank you again so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to watch Maelstrom all series long.
Okay, thank you. GG's.
Good game. Thanks for joining us.
Alrighty, well, Sebs should be joining us.
Oh my god.
Oh, Sebs! Oh no, Sebs, not Sebs.
Oh no, Sebs!
Sorry,
No.
oh my god, this dragging noise was so loud. Oh my god, my ears.
You
Oh.
startled all of us with that grand introduction. Now, Seb, if this is
Is
the
that B, Sebs?
reflection of your comm structure in the team, I can only imagine that they pumped their votes into making you MSP.
I told them to vote me MSP because I wanted an interview.
Oh, you did? Oh
Yeah.
no, should we be worried?
No, I don't think so. I'm not gonna. say anything bad.
Well, congratulations on your MSP. How does it feel to be the worst of the very best of upper division?
Pretty great, because I used to coach all these guys for like a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, okay, and then I just essentially dipped because I had another team to work with, which was my own team, which was really struggling at the time, so I couldn't really help as much. And then I came back like after the season, and yeah, and then we just all kind of became friends, and we're like, hey, we should do just random leagues, and then we joined Prospect, and that was fun.
Yeah, I mean that's quite the story to come all the way here, to start off as a coach, to abandon your team, and then
Yeah,
come back to win the cup for season 3.
yeah, it was pretty fun. The first 2 weeks were kind of rough because I was playing DPS, and I'm an off tank player, and whenever I was playing DPS, that was like when I had just unquit the game because I stopped playing the game for a while. So it was very rough for like the first 2 weeks, and that's why we
Mm-hmm.
lost our first 2 games. And then we were like, hey, we should put him on off tank, which is his role, and then we did that.
Yeah, I can definitely see off tank being more of your strength.
Yeah.
Because you and Zed being on main tank was just a killer duo. Now, do you guys ever suffer from the Zed Seb, call out issues? Like someone says Zed, I mean Seb, I mean Zed.
No, because we usually just yell at Zed to not feed, and I
Mm.
I just like yell, and it's me yelling at him usually. So it's so we don't really struggle from that. We just yell Zed really loudly. It's whenever we're just talking like chill. It's whenever we don't whenever we mess up, and I don't know how that makes sense, but it just happens.
I guess the pressure just makes your mind clear. Now, I know for the casters, myself included, I tripped over said Zeb just because you were both a part of the tank line, and we're like,
Yeah.
Zed's in the back line, but Seb is backing them up. I mean that backwards.
I am not looking forward to rewatching this stream tonight to have a little countdown of how many times I messed up Sebs and Zed, and
Oh my god.
occasionally like missed it but didn't even pay attention and just kept railing on and on.
Sometimes
yeah,
you just gotta chug through it.
I mean that's what I had to do tonight, Seb. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
I got you. Don't worry. Anytime.
But no, you did give us a really good show tonight on the off tank role. In fact, I think it was pretty much before every match that I told everyone to keep an eye on you and Zed in particular, setting a great pace for the match. So unfortunately, it's just Zed had a lot more moments where where they just got to shine, and so that. And of course, it's just you telling your team to be voted MSP
Yeah.
is what got you in here. But I'm glad that we did, because I was very impressed, and I really liked watching you guys play tonight.
Thank you. I mean, our rush was a little bit rough, mostly because we've only scrimmed probably like 2 times throughout this whole league.
Oh
And
man.
so our rush was a bit rough because of that. But me and Zed are on like a separate team that actually scrims, so like we have practice on double
Okay.
bubble, and then everyone else is on different teams. So like double bubble is just kind of easier to play with like people that are like not playing together all the time.
Mhm.
Because rush you have to be like super coordinated with going in, and that's why at the end, instead of like just being quiet like how I was for like the second half of that game, I just hard tempo called. It was fun. I was playing gas 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 at like really high volume, and just
Yes.
screaming go go go.
Okay. All right. I
It
mean,
was
that's the
fun.
kind of energy you need to win, man, and that's
Yeah,
exactly what you guys did tonight.
it was a lot of fun.
So, how are you guys going to celebrate? I mean, we did ask this by your counterpart, the MVP. I'd still like to hear your perspective on what you think your team might be doing next.
I don't know. We're probably just gonna. I bet like 3/4 of them are gonna go play comp after this, and then the rest of us are just gonna sit in the VC and talk. Uh, like we do like every night, but it's very fun. I don't know what we're gonna do as a team. I might yell at them to do the goats thing over the summer because that sounds like fun, but it's just if they want to.
Now, if they don't want to do the goats, they can definitely come join me for my Winter Cup, or Nikki also has a 2-day tournament for
Yo.
Star City, so there's plenty of things to choose from for your gaming pleasures.
Mhm.
Subs, is there anything else you want to say since you bribed your entire team to get you into this interview?
Yeah, and it's actually gonna be wholesome. For once, like I never do this to them because I like don't like being nice to them, but
Oh,
I genuinely love all of them so much. They're so fucking fun. Like they're so fun to play with, and I would not have asked for to have like a better group of friends and like a team to play with. Like they're the best. Like we everyone's low, almost everyone's like low SR on this team, and it doesn't matter because we just have fun and we just go for it. So we don't care. Uh, but they also have like really good potential. But I don't like telling them that.
yeah, you don't want the ego to go to them.
Yeah, no,
You,
I don't
you
like
have
telling
to
them.
you have to always walk that fine line of you're a piece of crap, you'll never amount to anything, and you're the most special piece of diamond on this planet. You're so precious.
Exactly. Someone gets it. That's
Yeah, I get
exactly
it.
what it
I
is.
get it. Now, I'll also extend a big shout out to your team as well. Again, congratulations on your season 3 win for the upper division. Your team's lucky to have you, and I think your team is lucky to have each other because it just sounds like it's a fun but enjoyably competitive place to be. If you're relaxing after that long of a match by playing comp and hanging out in the same voice chat that you were just in with these, I mean that just spells and reeks of sportsmanship. Now, James, do you have anything you'd like to ask before we let subs go?
You bodied my team, man.
My bad.
It's not quite a question, but more of a statement. But
Why?
My bad. It was fun. They were pretty good. I'm
I'll
mad
be
I
bringing
didn't
it
get
up.
more. I'm mad I didn't get more Blizzard eats because I was like half a second away so many times. I'm just blaming it on ping.
Ping diff. That's one of my favorite comms to make. It's not
Yeah.
always true.
oh, it's 100% always true for me.
It's always true if you just believe it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the-
That's right.
If it's not an internet ping, it's a brain ping.
Yeah, you just gotta convince everyone else that it was ping.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sebs.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Have a good night, Sebs. Convey our congratulations to the rest of the bench for us.
I will do. Bye, guys.
Whew. I mean, Laurel, James, when we opened up earlier this evening, I mean, what, this was 3.5 hours ago. I said that we were tuning in to watch a riveting series, and what a series it was. Definitely a moment of a somber moment of sobriety and some pensiveness as well on the side of Maelstrom, who fought hard. It didn't end up emerging victorious in this matchup, and of course the energy exuded from the bench squad and that we just saw manifest in in Sebs, and I think that I mean that's just what a spectacular match to close out, because I think this was the last match of season 3 for Prospect eSports Showdown. Is that right?
We don't have anything on the calendar for tomorrow. This was supposed to be a double header tonight with something at 8 p.m., but one of our casters was unable to join us because you know what? That's the Australian. It's already Mother's Day for her. And she said, nah, my mom's gonna be too pissed.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, you missed the Australian, James. You apparently.
I don't care about the Australian. I almost missed Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is Mother's Day, not today, so you're still fine, James.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so she is, I think, roughly 12 and a half hours ahead of us, something like that. And so she was celebrating Mother's Day. Long tangent aside, that is our final casted match for season 3. We will be announcing all of the winners, all of the Hall of Famers, shortly on Monday when we do our final match. Now that won't be casted, but we don't want to announce any of the Hall of Famers until that goes, because if you place in the top 3 or you get MSP or MVP, you get a Hall of Fame tag, and you are always invited back to the next season. There have been years where we weren't able to accept all of the teams who wanted to come back because our brackets were already full. So hey, if you want to join us for season 4, make sure you come and hang out with us during GOATs. You come hang out with us at Star City or at Apollo's Summer Cup. Just get to know us. We'd love to have you play with us more. But otherwise, we will see you in a few months for season 4 at Prospect eSports Showdown. James, do you have anything that you would like to share with the audience as one last goodbye?
LFT, Junkrat main, in Torb main, 1450 the peak,
Oh man,
and I can flex to May.
See, when you said you were bronze, I thought you were genuinely joking. But you know what? I can help you out, James. I'm a fellow bronzer. Bronzer gotta stick together.
Yeah.
Gotta look out for each other. No one else will. Not on the solo queue ranked ladder. Let me tell you. I don't play in bronze, but even I know that.
Say, Ethan, how would you know?
I wouldn't.
Just to round it off, Ethan, you probably said 5 times now that you played with Neb earlier today. So we all know what rank Ethan is.
He's real hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, anyone needing a bronze Junkrat 1 trick, be sure to message
That's not what I
James.
said.
That's how I interpret it. Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. I hope you have had a wonderful season 3 at Prospect eSports Showdown.